Started recording. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Treasury Automation Workgroup. Here we go a bit over of oh, like the backend development of what we do with the Treasury Manager and Treasury System in general. And yeah, oftentimes now in this automation call, we also discuss a bit of like Treasury Guild things too. Um, and I assume over time we talk a bit more about like operations, uh, like process guild operations, because I feel like it's the more time we remove from these work groups, the more they kind of merge together. But on the other sense, we like every iteration, we also add a bit of like assets or like the processes that we do are getting more like streamlined, and that also kind of helps them to understand what we are doing and merge them into together. And sometimes we just like lose focus on some topics because we no longer have to discuss them. But this call for today, this video is usually meant for the development updates. So the last time we met was, this is a template, 2nd September. So yeah, basically everything we've done in the September until now. So if I go into the Kanban board, Treasury updates on September, there is a lot of that, and I'm just gonna check what was the exact date. Yeah, it's 2nd. So everything here is new. Basically, I'm gonna uh, read them and give like quick description. Some of them they are like not really. Some of them maybe are like duplicates, so we can go over them faster. But basically, updated contribution table with task type column, new column with default contribution type added to insert sheet. Task type, insert participation, default task type is participation, assigned task. Okay, so basically this is when last quarter we were discussing like what do we want to see or like how do we want to measure treasury. Oftentimes it's I always like merge together the participation and contribution. So the difference of like, for example, in this meeting we have 4 people here, and it is recognized as four recognitions, and then we do like one task, maybe meeting summary, and 2 people are doing, one is reviewing, one is doing, and that's 2 tasks. So we are like we created 6 tasks, but theoretically we only did like one task, or maybe at best two, like reviewing and documentation, like drafting. So this task type is now basically, I made 2 types, contribution and participation, and that's now at the lowest level. It's already separating. So whenever I import a debug task or GitHub task, it's now called contribution, um, unless I manually change it in the insert process, like the cleaning process, and I know that's participation. And for example, all the invoices and all, no, the invoices I think are still contribution, but all the social interactions are participation. And every time we use Zoom integration, exports of participation, or now there's Discord imports, the voice channel imports, then they are all automatically participation. So with that change now allows me to back again go to this like, okay, what kind of dashboards we want to see, and by the root cause I'm able to distinguish them. Previously, for example, every time I did core contributors, I had to manually like I did this filtering functions, like 6 or 5 different functions to figure out what is task type part contribution, what is participation, because that was needed for core contributor calculation. Um, so yeah, that's like a very backend, nothing really for users to change, but yeah, maybe but it's like a pretty significant change, and maybe that's something we also want to put on chain at some point. But yeah, for now it is on the manager like that. Then design for archive data sheet. Okay, so yeah, I made basically a new sheet. So at some point there was like issues that it's loading a bit too long. And now I put all the new code stuff in that I shared, maybe updated like last month, for like the agentic code style and like, all that stuff. And it also increased the slowness of like loading data even more because we have like tens of thousands of records now. Um, so that's like basically a precursor if we ever need to, let's say, okay, everything before 2023, we take it off from the main table and and we just have it in archive. It's still on, like I'm not using it in a sense. Well, I did use it to import all the data from the old Treasury version to the new one. But essentially what it was made for was like managing archive, but I'm not sure how to implement it, like because we technically have the public version Google Sheet available. And if I update, if I like remove stuff and start to archive it, then our public version is just we lose data. And although I'm not sure if anybody is still using them like so excessively. Um, but either way, now there's a tool that we can use. Create tooling to archive database sheets. Yeah, so basically that's the same thing. And yeah, that's me using it. Set up new Treasury manager for SingularityNet. Yeah, so that's also related to this updated load Discord session button. And yeah, maybe on this I can also mention that last two, I think 2 weeks ago, or like not 2 weeks, maybe three, before the last operation, so that I did like the full end-to-end with the new Treasury Manager version, and it kind of worked. So we are on the we're on the new version, and every week I'm using the new one now. Updated lot Discord sessions. So yeah, we basically we have this Discord integration now and doing some slight updates, but technically it's now working, and I'm just improving based on my just operation experience. Oh, this should suggest this or should do that, and I'm just kind of adding more elements to that to make it even more seamless. Create a check date button to share task by session date from contribution table. Gives short task list and visibility to check if session was imported in that day. Yeah, again, like more user experience stuff on the Treasury. Maybe if I actually open it up and share, it gives a bit more clarity. Added feature to recognize same Zoom name in the same call and then provide warning. Oh yeah, that there probably on chain there might be few errors regarding QA account. So using the same Zoom account, but they don't change the name. So it was hard to me. It wasn't really that clear at the beginning, so I probably just inserted some stuff, but I added more like warnings. I don't know, AI sandbox call or something. But yeah, this is the new insert participation. As you can see, this is the Discord stuff where I can load Discord. And then when I load Discord from this time period, it will suggest me the first uh, meeting. And then when I click like summarize, it automatically summarizes all the information and then provides me records and pretty accurate now. I think it's putting like 5 minute stuff. And also fun stuff now. It was able to know that this is a gamer school meeting based on the date it happened and the time frame it happens, and it's using like this extra information. So previously, and that's a new edition I created, and I'm gonna test it this week. Because yeah, what I was doing, I was like, okay, I loaded it, and then I like opened up the calendar and figuring out. So all kinds of like small, minor changes, but it's just making me to able to just navigate here, click some stuff, and put less effort into thinking and more stuff, just making sure that the data is correct. Add participant selection validation using get current ranged in and nominally loopy through selected rows, execute file. Okay, so there are some, yeah, I don't know, logarithmic stuff related to participation. Updated filtering global functions. Yeah, again with the filter stuff and with the new version. But it's like less critical now, but more like adding more features into the filtering. Um, then and yeah, I don't know, the filter stuff is also still odd because in some reason, the Excel function itself, like what Excel itself provides you as a function doesn't really work. But now, yeah, like with the new version, it kind of does like hacking together some date filter options. Then create the check names button for insert. Yeah, again, some insert stuff. If the import task label is invoice, use the task creation date. You have some slight uh, date, well, like a pattern I noticed. Refactoring global function for readability, resolve column and row functions, remove dims. Yeah, okay, and these are now like kind of dangerous changes, but I think it's necessary to able to kind of start scaling also. So basically refactoring is making the code smaller but executing the same way and also maybe putting more readability because I'm constantly like fixing stuff. So if it's refactored, it probably fixes, like, my assumption, I think faster. So that was September and a little bit of um, Treasury updates in this month. Yeah, only one. After that, no, that's repair sessions. Updates are here. Was updating UX when ran into global function or generator issues. So yeah, this now I'm again like this is the code manager stuff. So I'm no longer like I still do a bit of code development in the Excel WebS itself, but essentially what I have is now I'm doing it on Visual Studio Code. So this is my new like the development environment where I can see all the Excel files or the code files and I can simply like edit stuff here. And this is how I kind of use the chat also. I kind of, you can see one prompt here, dropping in some insights and it's finding me results. Um, so yeah, regarding that, sometimes like stuff breaks, so I'm like, I need to make it more simpler and easier. UI UX update removes operation of session participants heading and replace it. Ah, okay, so this is actually a thing I'm going to. I think I mentioned it somewhere, but I'm gonna like make a post in the Discord and call all core contributors about it. But what I eventually want to get to is like right now, whenever we insert the stuff, we insert it with like dates. Here you can see knowledge base, workgroup, and date itself, but the date already exists on the metadata. And then we also have like when people are like adding the costs, because in the debug there was no field to add like token amounts and token tickers, so we used the title for that. Um, but now as we are, the recent change was that in bundle transactions, we were not even able to create like a JSON for the same task name and the same wallet owner. But now I think that the logic was moved a bit to the backend side when the treasury like that is creating the bundle transaction. And then there was another like element of date task name and wallet owner, I think. So yeah, that allows again to reduce the metadata amount, which kind of slightly changes our, and I feel like it's more like cleaner version to have just task name without uh, like okay, maybe month indicator is fine, but like specific dates and like amounts no longer needed in the date itself. So I feel like that this is something I'm gonna ask from everybody, and if they want, and then I'm automatically, whenever we start importing tasks in, we are starting to alternate the task names themselves and cleaning them up from all the other unnecessary informations that are repeated on metadata. Insert contributions, give error if the participation type not filled and ungroup task labels and very small things. Okay, these are like 15 minutes, some changes. And major ones improved find participation button, tokenize name, yeah, even more like better suggestions, clean bundle transaction on sheet from old code. Yeah, and that's basically what I just meant. Like this help us to put this in a practice now. Um, then can now update token distribution from bundle transaction sheet. uh, yeah, basically, we didn't really have that error. So if you remember, at some like few months ago, we had a situation where we assigned different token numbers to different people because the filtering didn't work really. And then we had a like a backlog task of, okay, before we do the submission, we also check if the like tokens are matching with whatever are the outbound. So if I change here the number and I guess I try to submit, it should say, or maybe, yeah, ton token amount mismatches, and then it kind of tells me that it was 146 before. But if I want to really make it 65, then I made like a button somewhere, update token amounts, so we can just yeah, update five visibles. I know, okay. So yeah, I need to filter out what I want. But basically, this is the new feature, so that we can more easily check and update, even though we haven't had these problems. But whenever we do, then we have the tools to kind of fix them quickly and faster without manually going. I don't know if you remember that long tape where we made like tables and VLOOKUPs and all that magic. Now it's more streamlined. Where is this? Clean bundle transaction that we mentioned. Yeah, okay. And that's basically how far I am with stuff. And one thing to kind of know all of this is that's a lot of backlog work. And I think if I open up my backlog from all the previous time, I have only one task left here, or actually store exchange rates. So that's something what I want to do on manager. And that's only needed for the like when we start building dashboards. And another one is create JSON generator from Dict. And it's not really, and probably I'm not sure if I want to do it. I need to kind of analyze. I'm gonna talk with the AI and figure out if it's worthwhile to do it either way because like uh, what is that? Create a dictionary. Because yeah, I'm no longer creating a dictionary myself. Now the backend is doing it. So it might be that this is no longer needed. So yeah, these are updates from my side, and I also noticed Andre dropped in. So do you want to share anything regarding Treasury System you're thinking there or related updates what you're working on?
I've just I'd, uh, I've been busy with some other stuff, but I didn't start with the Q4 tasks yet. But I need to update this issue. We did those updates last week. With that, I think it was the Discord. But yeah, that wasn't. Just made some minor updates to the APIs for the Discord bot and the
Ah, yeah, we
Zoom.
had the
Yeah,
date issue like here.
yeah. The date issue for the Zoom API also added more better error, like error logging, and made it a little less strict. Oh, I need to update that issue with my tasks. But yeah, I think the so it was just minor updates on the APIs. Like if every time you need something, I just make small updates there. But for the Q4 stuff, I haven't started on that yet.
Yep. And today we go into how do we deliver the Q4 stuff.
Yeah.
But everything from quarter three is, I think, yeah, pretty good and completed. So this is the main treasury updates. And yeah, the next session we have is, I think we already also set it down on 18th November. And then hopefully we get to share a bit of the new GitHub API updates. But meanwhile, uh, if you want to learn more, with this video in the description, you will find the meeting summary where we will discuss a little bit of how do we plan the work group itself and also set us in motions to plan also Q1 of next year. Thanks for watching. See you in the spaces.